Bhagya, Hare Krishna. Vani, Hare Krishna. All right. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sah Ganalalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute जयत्यं सुरतौ पङ्गोर्ममा मन्दामतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बोजौ राधा मदनमोहनौ तप्तकाञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम रामा हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुन् दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं हरि ओं तत्सत् नमः ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताकस्वामिनिति नामिने नमाचार्य पदाय निताय कृपप्रदायिने गौरकथादामदाय नगरग्रामतारिणे. So with the blessings of Srila Prabhupada and my Guru Maharaj, we'll go ahead and go into the sloka 2.23. Can somebody read the verse? Any of you? Would any of you like to read the verse for me, please? Gaurangi
Nanda,
Mataji. Yes.
okay, your screen is not visible for the
Now?
screen. Now it is fine.
Yeah. Deepa Mataji, can you read the verse, please?
Okay, sure. नैनं छिद्यन्ति शास्त्राणि नैनं दाहति पावकः नाचैनं क्लेदयन्त्यपो नाशोष्यति मारुतः.
Thank you. So, never, enam, this soul, chindanti, can cut to pieces. Sastrani, weapons. Never, enam, this soul, inam, dahati, burns. Pavakaha, fire. Never, cha, also, inam, this soul. Kledayanti, moistens. Apaha, water. Never. Sosayanti, dries. Marutaha, wind. Translation: the soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. So, if we all remember correct, all this while we have been introduced to the fact that, we are not the body and we are the spirit soul. So, in this particular sloka, more information about the soul is given. Till now, in our experience, we have not particularly experienced anything that can never be destroyed, be it the mobile phone that we are holding or anything that we are using on an everyday basis. I'm sure there is nothing that cannot be cut by any weapon, that cannot be burned by fire, that cannot be even moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. For example, our body. Unfortunately, these days we see a lot of these reports where people are being murdered, and after committing murders, they think that the person can be cut into pieces, put in some particular, solution, etc., and then they'll get away with the crime. The idea is basically somebody or some body can be cut into pieces and it can be destroyed. And unfortunately, that happens. So, our very self is the example that I'm taking here, our body, and that can be cut by pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire. So, this also we are very clear that our body can definitely be burned by fire. In the Hindu way of actually discarding a body or saying goodbye to a person is by burning the body. So it is very famous in the ghats of Varanasi when we go, there are so many thousands of bodies that are being burnt. It is very hard to even see these things, but the body is burnt. Um, and one more example is that, recently this entire war between Pakistan and India. So, this is one thing that I was reflecting. So, immediately after some time of beginning the war, Pakistan, kind of threatened that we have a nuclear weapon, so we may use the nuclear weapon. So, nuclear weapon basically works on the principle of burning things around. So, it is described that within 42-kilometer radius, whatever is there when a nuclear weapon goes on gets burnt within seconds. So, it can be a body, it can be a car, it can be anything, it can be burnt in seconds. Moistened by water, of course, moistened also here means destroyed. So, water is the mass destruction weapon, actually. If we see again, according to our Vedic understanding, pralaya, when it happens, when the age of destruction sets in, when the time for destruction sets in, it is basically by inundation of the entire world with water that it happens. So, water is one of the main weapons, if we can say, to destroy this entire world, nor withered by the wind. So, again, wind can be really powerful. So if we may be not directly affected by wind in terms of destruction of our body or destruction of a thing, but then wind is so forceful that the body or whatever object can go and hit somewhere and thereby be spilt into pieces. So like this, whatever we experience in our life, from ourselves to anything around us to anything that we use, can be destroyed. But here Krishna is talking something which is very new, that the soul cannot be destroyed by these five elements. So the five elements that are being mentioned here are actually the elements, the basis of any material object. But the soul is so beautiful that it cannot be destroyed, and that is us. So we will continue to live forever in this particular form as a soul, and we have existed from time immemorial as this particular soul. If we are fortunate enough, if we follow Krishna consciousness properly, then this soul then later gets a beautiful spiritual body again, which cannot be destroyed, and goes on into timeless place of Goloka Vrindavan. So we'll read the purport. We'll take turns and we'll read the purport, please. So it will be nice if y'all itself can take turns and start, because I want all of us to read. So one of you please start. Can you read the purport? Anybody, please?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes. You can read a few lines. Yes.
Perfect. All kinds of weapons, swords, flame weapons, rain weapons, tornado weapons, etc., are unable to kill the spirit soul. It appears that there were many kinds of weapons made of earth, water, air, ether, etc., in addition to the modern weapons of fire. Even the nuclear weapons of modern age are classified as fire weapons, but formerly there were other weapons made of all different types of material elements. Fire weapons were counteracted by water weapons, which are now unknown to modern science. Nor do modern scientists have knowledge of tornado weapons. Nonetheless, the soul can never be cut into pieces nor annihilated by any number of weapons, regardless of the scientific devices.
Right. So Srila Prabhupada is going on to explain to us, the different kinds of weapons. So when we are actually reading the Bhagavad Gita, there is so much more extra information that we get. So I'm not sure how many of us actually understand weapons, what are the details, but here Prabhupada goes on to say that there are weapons made up of flame weapons, rain weapons, tornado weapons, swords, etc. All of these weapons are also unable to kill the spirit soul. And then he goes on to give more weapon examples. Weapons made up of water, air, ether, etc. So it's interesting that Prabhupada also goes on to say that the modern day nuclear weapon is just one classification of a weapon, which is a fire weapon. But if we see, even when Lord Krishna was present just 5,000 years ago, all these weapons were very much in use. And so, this is the kind of scientific knowledge that was there, that is there, but which we are not able to tap just even 5,000 years ago. So, even those kind of very highly sophisticated weapons are unable to touch or kill the soul. Yeah. Can we go on? Can somebody else volunteer, please? Anybody, please? The Mayavadi.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Mataji, can you try to read it?
Yes, please.
The Mayavadi cannot explain how the individual soul came into existence simply by
Mhm.
ignorance and consequently became covered by the illusory energy. Nor was it ever possible to cut the individual souls from the original Supreme Soul. Rather, the individual souls are eternally separated parts of the Supreme Soul because they are atomic individual souls eternally. They are prone to, to be covered by the illusory energy, and thus they become separated from the association of the Supreme Lord, just as the sparks of a fire, although one in quality with the fire, are prone to be extinguished when out of the fire. In the Varaha Purana,
Okay,
the
we'll
living.
stop here. We'll stop here. Yeah. So again, I think in detail we have seen a few classes ago about the individuality of the soul and how it is always being maintained. So that is something that the Mayavadis completely refute. But they don't have any proper explanation because Krishna very clearly says that we are always individuals. And being individuals, we also have the quality of the Supreme Soul, the Super Soul, or Krishna. An interesting point here is that because they are atomic individual souls eternally, they are prone to be covered by the illusory energy. So, if we are all actually a single soul, which is, we can merge in the Lord alone and we have no individuality, then we can't come under illusion because the Supreme Lord cannot come under illusion. He is always separate from the material energies. But Srila Prabhupada is saying, because we are all individual, we all have the chance of being covered by illusory energy. Illusory energy means what? Maya. What is the understanding of illusory energy? We stop understanding that we are not the body and we identify ourselves excessively with the body. And when we do that, we identify ourselves with so many other things. Say, for example, our profession. I'm a dentist, so I completely identify myself with being a dentist. And I think that there is no other existence. For example, I recently attended a course. So, in that course, there were about 13 people. All 13 of us were dentists. All 13 of them were so clear in their minds that I'm a periodontist, I'm a pedodontist, I'm an orthodontist. And it appeared to me that on a deeper level, their identity itself has become that. So there are many specialities in dentistry. So they are completely identifying themselves with their profession. And it appeared to me, I may be wrong, but in my judgment, it appeared to me that they are completely identifying themselves with that profession and are not able to really differentiate themselves. Their identity has become that. Or, say, for an actor, the actor is completely identifying himself with the profession because they have no other goal. One part of the goal is maintaining oneself, but apart from that, they are not having any other goal, which is to understand the fact that they are not the body, that there is a Supreme Lord, and that they have to develop a relationship with the Supreme Lord. So, because we are all individual atomic parts and parcels, we always run this risk of being in the illusory energy, right? So how do we protect ourselves from being illusion? That is why every day Prabhupada has recommended that how we keep in touch with Maya every day. All of us are very experts in keeping in touch with Maya every day by going to Instagram or watching YouTube, etc., taking non prasadam. There are so many things we do to keep in touch with Maya. So, similarly, Prabhupada recommends that every day to keep away from Maya, to get away from this illusion, we have to chant our 16 rounds, we read Srimad Bhagavatam, and we listen about Krishna. So, when we start listening about the Lord, slowly this illusion will leave us. So, that is important. So, just as the spark of a fire, although one is in quality with the fire, are prone to be extinguished when out of the fire. So, it is very important for us to always be in touch with the fire. Being in touch with the fire means being in touch with Krishna. And how can we be in touch with Krishna? By following the different practices of devotional service. Yes, can somebody else volunteer, please, to read in the Varaha Purana from there? Should I point out who is going to read? I'm not able to see the participants actually with the screen, no? Can somebody volunteer, please?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Yes, please.
Um,
In the Varaha Purana.
In the Varaha Purana, the living entities are described as separated parts and parcels of the Supreme. They are externally so. According to the Bhagavad Gita also.
They are eternally so.
I'm sorry, Mataji. They're eternally so, according to the Bhagavad Gita also. So, even after being liberated from illusion, the living entity remains a separate identity, as is evident from the teachings of the Lord to Arjuna. Arjuna became liberated by the knowledge received from Krishna, but he never became one with Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So, again, the same point is being emphasized about our individuality, and interestingly, even after liberation. So, even after a living entity achieves his particular destination of liberation and going back to Vaikunta or Goloka Vrindavan, he always remains an individual. Gopi Padak. So, he is a servant of the gopis, he is a servant of the servant of the servant of the gopis. So that eternal individual position is remaining even after one achieves Goloka Vrindavan. Arjuna became liberated by the knowledge received from Krishna, but he never became one with Krishna. So, again and again, Prabhupada is explaining to us Mayavadi philosophy, because nowadays there are so many philosophies available out there and everything may look very attractive. It may look like it is the same thing what they are speaking in Bhagavad Gita, only they are speaking. But if you go in deeper understanding only, we may see that okay, this is Mayavadi philosophy. They are talking about becoming one with God. So becoming one with God also sounds a little all right. But becoming one with God, they say we are becoming God. So that is the philosophy of Advaita. So we can never become one with God. We can never become God also. But to remain as spiritual as possible, although we are sparks, we should continue to remain in touch with the fire. And that fire is Krishna, or the process of Krishna consciousness. So this verse is a very, very important verse for us to always remember, that we can never be destroyed no matter what weapon, no matter what water, no matter fire, no matter earth, no matter any element, we continue to remain eternal. So, with this knowledge, we also have to ask ourselves a question. If we are eternally there in this world and suffering, if we are eternally in this world, and if we are undergoing the threefold miseries of life, if we have to repeatedly be born again, age again, be subjected to different kinds of difficulties again and again, what should an intelligent person know after knowing that he or she is eternal? So, if somebody knows that we are eternal, first thing is we can be happy. But second thing is we should start worrying. How long are we going to continue to live in this world? So, when we understand or ask ourselves this question, then we come to the conclusion, all right, I don't want to eternally continue living in a miserable condition. I want to move to a better place. So, it is natural for all of us, that we try to improve our state of being. If we are staying in a 1 bhk, then we want to go to a 2 bhk. If we are staying in a 2 bhk, then we want to go to a 3 bhk. We want better surroundings. If we have one AC, we may feel we need two ACs. If we have two ACs and we have three bedrooms, then we want third AC also. So it is a natural tendency for us to want to improve our quality of life. There's nothing wrong with that. So similarly, on that same note, if we actually want to improve the quality of life, then we have to start searching for a better place. To prove that this world is not a better place, I think that is a complete different topic by itself. If we open the newspaper, if we really look at reality without being overtly positive, if we look at the newspaper every day, we can convince ourselves every morning what a miserable place we are living in. Today is a good day, so we are all fine. So we have enough number of things to convince us that this world is not a happy place or not a permanent place. So then we need to ask ourselves this question: with all this knowledge about my eternity, where am I heading? Am I going to work towards a better goal and a better place? So, if the answer is yes, then we move on to taking our Krishna conscious journey very seriously. And by that, we mean that, do whatever service is possible, chant any number of rounds that is possible, do our best. That is what it means by being Krishna consciousness. If we're Krishna conscious, are we taking this path seriously? Is something that we have to ask ourselves after gaining this knowledge. Because, Prabhupada in the last sentence is saying, after gaining this knowledge, Arjuna became liberated. So, the torch of knowledge can take away all the darkness, as Krishna claims in the Bhagavad Gita. So, if we use this torch of knowledge in all practicality, then it will be very beneficial to us. So I think this is it for today's sloka. But as we are in the whole mood of Snana Yatra and Pani Hati, I thought that we can read a little Chaitan Charitamrita. So I will just be sharing it in a minute. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a minute. If there are any comments or questions on what we read, please go ahead and share it, please. Because we have another almost half an hour of the class pending. So, ah. Okay, thank you for your patience. So I've opened up to this. Why is it not opening? Yeah. No. Are you able to see my screen? Chapter 6, The Meeting of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Raghunath Das Goswami. Are you all able to see the screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Yeah. So can somebody start reading, please? Okay, I will start reading, then later somebody can volunteer. A summary of this chapter is given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Pravaha Bhasya as follows. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went into transcendental fits of ecstatic love, Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami attended to him and satisfied him as he desired. Raghunath Das Goswami had been attempting to come to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for a long time, and finally he left his home and met the Lord. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had gone to Shantipur on his way to Vrindavan, Raghunath Das Goswami had offered to dedicate his life at the lotus feet or at the Lord's lotus feet. In meantime, however, a Muslim official became envious of Hiranyadasa, Raghunath Das Goswami's uncle, and induced some big official court minister to have him arrested. Thus, Hiranyadasa left his home, but by the intelligence of Raghunath Das, the misunderstanding was mitigated. Then Raghunath Das went to Panihati, and following the order of Nityananda Prabhu, he observed a festival by distributing chipped rice mixed with yogurt. The day after the festival, Nityananda Prabhu gave Raghunath Dasa the blessing that he would very soon attain the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After this incident, Raghunath Das, with the help of his priest, whose name was Yadunandan Acharya, got out of his house by trickery and thus ran away. Not touching the general path, Raghunath Das Goswami secretly went to Jagannath Puri. After 12 days, he arrived in Jagannath Puri at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, as you see, this is the entire story that Prabhupada is, kind of shortening it as for us. So, basically, Raghunath Das Goswami, he was trying to come to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was always trying to run away from the house, and they would always bring him back. And we also saw how Raghunath Das Goswami was very useful to the family. So once when his uncle was arrested by a Muslim official, just by using his intelligence, Raghunath Das Goswami could bring his uncle out. So he was very important member of his family, but his desire was that he still remains at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When he actually met Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu gave him the advice that you first go take shelter of Nityananda Prabhu. So after the Panihati Chida Doi festival, he actually got the mercy to go and associate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this Panihati festival is a very, very important festival, because if we take shelter of Nityananda Prabhu, if he gives us the permission, then we have all access to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually going to give us love of God. So, love of God is that main thing that all of us are bereft of, and all of us are trying to achieve. And once that is achieved, we are going to be supremely blissful. So, for that supremely blissful life and that blessing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to give us, we all need Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. And often, when somebody is asked that, how do we, when Prabhupada was asked, when someone asked this question, how do we actually get Lord Nityananda's mercy? How do we actually purify Lord Nityananda? I'm sorry, how do we actually uh, uh, satisfy Lord Nityananda? That is possible only by satisfying the Guru, right? So when the Guru is pleased, when our Shiksha Guru, when our Diksha Guru, when all the seniors, when the Parampara through the seniors are pleased, that is when Nityananda Prabhu opens his feet, lotus feet, for mercy. So it is Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chandra Sushitala. So when we actually take shelter of Nityananda Prabhu's cooling lotus feet, when he actually precipitates that cooling mercy, that is when all our material uh, distress goes down, right? So, Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chandra Sushitala. So that Koti Chandra Sushitala of Lord Nityananda, what does it do? It mitigates all our material distress. So that's why, the simple song that we sing, Ha ha Prabhu Nityananda. Ha ha Prabhu This is another song, right? What we sing for Arati in Mayapur every day is that we tell Nityananda Prabhu that Ami Bodo Dukhi. I am very, very miserable. I am a sinful person and I am miserable, so please give me your mercy. So this mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, when we get, is going to be very cooling. It is going to open the love of Godhead pathway for us by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu giving his mercy. And how is that possible? That is only possible by satisfying, by following the orders of the Guru and the Parampara. So, coming back to this, so Raghunath Das Goswami was given this particular information by Mahaprabhu. He took it very seriously, and finally, this was achieved by Raghunath Das Goswami, and he got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. So, what did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? That is in the next paragraph. Please, can somebody read? Um, sorry. Can someone read this? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from that para onwards. No volunteers. Are you all there? Yes.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entrusted Raghunatha Dasa Goswami to Swarup Damodar Goswami. Therefore, another name for Raghunatha Dasa Goswami is Swarupera Raghu or Raghunatha of Swarupa Damodar. For 5 days, Raghunath Das Goswami took prasadam at the temple, but later he would stand at the Simhadwara gate and eat only whatever he could gather by alms. Later, he lived by taking alms from various chatras or food distributing centers. When Raghunatha's father received news of this, he sent some men and money. But Raghunath Das Goswami refused to accept the money. Understanding that Raghunath Das Goswami was living by begging from the Chatras, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu presented him with his own Gunjamala and a stone from Govardhana hill. Thereafter, Raghunath Das Goswami used to eat rejected food that he had collected and washed. This renounced life greatly pleased both Swarup Damodar Goswami and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took by force some of the same food, thus blessing Raghunath Das Goswami for his renunciation.
So again, this is very interesting that as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went, I'm sorry, as soon as Raghunath Das Goswami went to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he immediately entrusted him with Swarup Damodar Goswami, who was again a very senior devotee. So we are always, when we are under the shelter of a senior devotee, when we are under the shelter of the Guru, that is when our life is safe. So here, such an elevated soul as Raghunath Das Goswami himself was taking shelter. And here Prabhupada is glorifying Raghunath Das Goswami's renunciation. Raghunath Das Goswami was from a very rich family, so much so that we can't even imagine the kind of richness that he had. You know, to be born in so much opulence and then stay like such a renunciate that he had to go begging is something that we can't imagine. So, although it is something that we are just reading very casually, we would never want it to happen in our life. God forbid, that one day we start begging. So, that is what Raghunath Das Goswami was doing, and Mahaprabhu was pleased with such renunciation. So sometimes in our lives, as we are following Krishna consciousness, we don't have to be fanatical, but there may be necessities of renunciating certain things. For example, relatives, certain friends, certain different kinds of comforts or privileges that we may have had being a non-devotee, right? Or some maybe promotions in colleges, or I'm sorry, in workplaces, if we are able to project ourselves or be a part of certain team outings, etc., which we may not get after being a devotee because we become kind of a little docile or not so much into projecting ourselves. So these are also subtle renunciations that happen as we progress in being a devotee. So if there is a particular circle of friends we were enjoying, a certain particular of influence that we were enjoying, and if all that is disappearing after being a devotee, and if we are not sad about it, and if we are letting our life pass on with the new acceptance, then that is also a kind of renunciation, which definitely the Lord is very proud of and very happy with us. So that is how long this chapter is. So I would like to read, um, yes, 138. So we have understood what all happened and how Raghunath Das Goswami went through so many things. So now we will read this text number 138. तबे रघुनाथ प्रभु निकाटे बोलैला तानरा माते पादाधारी कहिता लगिला. Translation. Then Lord Nityananda Prabhu called Raghunath Das near him, placed his lotus feet upon Raghunath Das's head, and began to speak. So let's see what Lord Nityananda spoke. তুমি এ করিলা এ পুলিনা ভোজনা তোমায়া কৃপা করি গৌরা কইলা আগমনা. My dear Raghunath Dasa, he said, since you arranged the feast on the bank of the Ganges, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here just to show you his mercy. So let us understand that when this festival of Panihati was happening, it was not actually taking place where Mahaprabhu was there. Mahaprabhu was not there in Panihati, right? So Nityananda Prabhu is telling him that because you gave this feast, what happened? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come. Kripa kori koila chida dugdha bhojana nritya deki ratre ye kaila prasada bhakshana. By his causeless mercy, he ate the chipped rice and milk. Then, after seeing the dancing of the devotees at night, he took his supper. So, Nityananda Prabhu is saying that, you worship me, you fed the devotees, you made all the Vaishnavas happy. And this is what Mahaprabhu did in return. He had the prasadam and he watched all the devotees dancing, and then he had his prasadam. Toma udarite gaura aela apane Chutli to Marayata Vignadi Bandhane. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Gaurahari came here personally to deliver you. Now rest assured that all the impediments meant for your bondage are gone. स्वरूपेरा स्थाने तो मा कौरिबा समर्पणे अंतरंगा भृत्या बाली राखी बेचाराणे. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will accept you and place you under the charge of his secretary Swarup Damodar. You will thus become one of the most confidential internal servants and will attain the shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu is blessing him. He's saying, "You finished the festival of Panihati, you have done whatever I've asked you to do. You have pleased the Vaishnavas, you have pleased me, and now this is the benediction that is coming out of Lord Nityananda's lotus mouth." What is he saying? Now Mahaprabhu will accept you and place you under the charge of his secretary. You will thus become one of the most confidential internal servants and will attain shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Attaining shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu means welcoming into a world of supreme bliss. We should understand that when Mahaprabhu was touring India, when he was especially in South India, just by glancing at people, just by hugging people, he was giving them unbelievable ecstasies of Krishna Prem. So, just by one glance, just by one hug, Mahaprabhu was transporting them into something that one cannot achieve even in million years. So, what Raghunath Das Goswami has achieved is incomparable. निश्चिंताहानायाः अपना भावना आश्रे निर्विघ्ने पाबे chaitanya charana. Being assured of all this, return to your own home. Very soon, without impediments, you will attain shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, again, following this festival, praying for the mercy of Lord Nityananda means that we can come out of the impediments in each of our own bhakti process. So, Raghunath Das Goswami underwent a lot of humiliation. He underwent a lot of arrests. He underwent a lot of heartbreaks. He was very qualified to be with Mahaprabhu, but he was never allowed to be. Only when he got Lord Nityananda's mercy, he was allowed into the movement of Mahaprabhus. So, by achieving the mercy of Lord Nityananda, which is actually achieving the mercy of Guru, all impediments are being taken away. So, on Panihati festival, this is one thing that we need to pray for. Impediments can be family, impediments can be uh, office colleagues, impediments can be our mind, impediments can definitely be our anarthas that we are all carrying for so many millions of years. So, all these impediments is what is removed by observing the Panihati festival. सभा भक्त द्वारे तान रे आशीर्वाद करिला तान सबारा चारा ने रघुनाथा वंदिला. Lord Nityananda had Raghunath Das blessed by all the devotees, and Raghunath Das offered his respects to their lotus feet. So first, Lord Nityananda himself placed his lotus feet on top of Raghunath Das Goswami's head. So we can all pray for that. That my dear Lord Nityananda, please place your millionly cooling lotus feet on the top of my head. And Lord Nityananda didn't just stop there. He also made Raghunath Das Goswami receive the blessings of all the devotees. So this is something that we all have to understand. It is not complete if we just receive the mercy of senior devotees, of our Guru, but we also need to receive the blessings of all the Vaishnavas. Ultimately, a Vaishnava is somebody who believes that Krishna is their supreme Lord. So, like Prabhupada explains, the devotees can be in different stages. They can be kacha or they can be completely ripe. They can be unripened raw mangoes or they can be ripened mangoes, but a mango is a mango, right? So, we need the blessings of devotees to progress in our path of bhakti. प्रभु आज्ञा लाना वैष्णवेरा आज्ञा लाइला राघवा सहिता निर्भृते युक्ति कोरिला. After taking leave of Lord Nityananda Prabhu and then all other Vaishnavas, Sri Raghunath Dasa consulted secretly with Raghava Pandit. So now next, there's more lessons here that, Raghunath Das Goswami took the blessings of all the Vaishnavas, and then for further knowledge, he is going to Raghav Pandita and he's trying to understand further parts of, how to go about with his life. So I'm stopping here with the reading. So I hope that we all receive the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And one second. I'm also going to share one more. So I'm just going to share a small song that we can sing now, and we will stop with that. It's not going to take much time, just 5 minutes. Thank you for your patience. I'm again sharing the screen. It's a very beautiful song. I'm sure you will enjoy it. Are you all able to see my screen? Are you able to see the song? Yes?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, thank you. I can sing the first two lines and then you all can repeat. Tana Mora Nityananda Pati Mora Gaura Chandra Prana Mora Jugala Kishore Ora Tana Mora Nityananda Pati Mora Gaura Chandra Prana Mora Jugala Kishora Advaita Acharya Bala Gadadhara Mora Kula Narahari Vilasa Mora Advaita Acharya Bala Gadadhara Mora Kula Narahari Vilaisa Mora Vaishnavera Padhaduli Tahe Mora Snana Keli Tarpana Mora Vaishnavera Nama वैष्णवेरा पादधूली ताहे मोरा स्नान केली तर्पण मोरा वैष्णवेरा नामा विचारा कोरिया मोने भक्ति रसा अश्वदाने मध्यस्था श्री भागवत पुराणा विचारा कोरिया मोने भक्ति रस अश्वधाने मध्यस्था श्री भागवत पुराणा वैष्णवेरा उच्छिष्टा ताहे मोरा मननिष्ठा वैष्णवेरा नामिते उल्लासा वैष्णवेरा उच्छिष्टा ताहे मोरा मनोनिष्ठा वैष्णवेरा नामिते उल्लासा वृंदावने च भूतारा ताहे मोरा मोनोग्रे घेरा कोहे दीना नारोत्तमधा आसा वृंदावने च भूतारा ताहे मोरा मनोगेरा कोहे दीना नारोत्तमदा आसा. I'll quickly read the translation and then we'll sign off. Lord Nityananda is my wealth. Lord Gaurachandra is my master. The youthful divine couple is my life. Advaita Acharya is my strength. Gadadhar is my family. Narahari Sarkar is my glory. So this is showing a glimpse of the consciousness of this great devotee Narottam Das. So whenever we feel lonely, whenever we feel that there's nobody, nothing for us, this is the reality. Lord Nityananda is wealth, Gaurachandra is master, Krishna and Radha are my life, Advaita Acharya is my strength, Gadadhar is my family. Next, the dust of the devotees' lotus feet is my bathing water. The chanting of the devotees' names is my satisfaction. Considering the merit of all Vedic literatures in the light of devotional service, I have concluded that the Srimad Bhagavatam is the best of all scriptures. So, this is very difficult actually, especially as we become devotees and we keep associating with devotees day in and day out. We get to know their good parts, we get to know their bad parts. It's very difficult to actually think, yeah, the dust of the devotee's lotus feet is my bathing water. We may feel it for an elevated devotee, but we may not feel it for all the devotees. But a devotee is a devotee, right? So in Nectar of Devotion, it is mentioned that one who chants the name, actually, Lord Chaitanya says, how do we identify who is a Vaishnava? He's asked in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Mahaprabhu says, anybody who chanted the name of Krishna even once is a Vaishnava. So that is the first time definition he gives. So, yes, we have to respect devotees and understand their position because there are millions of entities who are not devotees, who don't care about Krishna and who still have all bad qualities. So, we try our best to respect devotees. If not think that, okay, it is my bathing water, at least that level we should come to. And chanting of devotees' name is my satisfaction. Sometimes we see some devotees and we want to run away. I feel like that as well. So this is again, or maybe you don't feel. Sometimes I feel like that. So this is again Narottam Das Thakur teaching us. Lord Nityananda just taught Raghunath Das Goswami that yes, we have to start looking with Pandita Samadarshana. At least we should try and imitate, and then we start getting into that thinking mentality. And then, very important point, Bhagavatam is the best of all scriptures. So, if we take shelter of the Bhagavatam, then we achieve everything. My mind is firmly convinced of the spiritual benefit obtained by eating the remnants of the foodstuff left by the devotees. Again, it doesn't say, senior devotee, guru, Madhyamadikari, Uttamadikari. Of course, I'm not saying we should go and eat everybody's Uttishta. There's a lot of technicalities in that. But again, this is showing the consciousness of Narottam Das Thakur. Yes, that respect that we need to maintain towards Vaishnavas. The names of the devotees are my happiness. The land of Vrindavana is the enclosure within which I keep my mind. So, my dear mind, where are you expected to be? You are expected to always be in Vrindavan. Always remembering the past times. Manmana bhava matbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. So, we are always trying to keep our consciousness at the lotus feet of Krishna, trying to remember Krishna, think of his pastimes, and become devotees of Krishna. Poor hearted Narottama Das speaks in this way. So we'll end with that. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. It is a very amazing experience to actually think of what Raghunath Das Goswami had achieved that day at the banks of the Ganges in this very auspicious place of Panihati. So, if there are any questions, comments, please feel free to ask or tell me. Then I know that you all have been with me also. Anybody wants to say anything? All right, then I take it as we are ready to conclude. Thank you for being with me throughout. Hare Krishna and happy Panihati and Snan Yatra.